What's up guys? Another IGTV, and we are going through my grocery haul, and I figured I'd just show you what I got, talk about it for a little bit, and talk about grocery shopping in general. Hope you like it. I'll try not to be awkward. So I'm just gonna get right into it. I got first reusable bag right here. Sorry I got plastic on some of these things, but you do the best you can. So I just get this seeded sourdough bread. It is not like a whole wheat bread. It is enriched flour, but it is the kind of bread that we like to use for sandwiches. It's just not the best option. Unfortunately, Sprouts has tiny loaf breads that are whole grain, whole wheat, but they're so small and they don't have any options that are larger slices. That's not Dave's Killer, which is a great brand. It's just like $5, and I'm not about spending $5 on a loaf of bread. So next, box of cereal, self-explanatory. That's just easy when Matt needs a quick breakfast. I also got this little container of green beans. I am making my Thai curry again. If you want to know how I make it, watch the last IGTV. I walk you through that. The recipe's on my Pinterest, link in my bio for my Pinterest board. But green beans are great. What else? We got strawberries. Got nothing else to say about that. Blueberries. I like putting these in my oats mostly, and sometimes I snack on them, which is great. If you don't have fresh berries, frozen berries are perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with frozen produce in general. You just gotta check the label like everything else. Sometimes they will freeze fruits or vegetables. I guess I've never seen vegetables, but sometimes they'll freeze fruits with other sugars or additives. So it is possible to find just the fruit by itself. You can do that. I got black beans. You know, one day I'll figure out how to hydrate dry beans. I'm just not there yet. So I got 4 cans of black beans, and I use black beans a lot in tacos. I'll just smash them with a potato smasher, add in some taco sauce, taco seasonings, and that will be like my taco meat. So that's really great. I also use black beans to make my black bean burgers. I think the blog that I get my black bean burger recipe is She Likes Food. Pretty sure She Likes Food. Should be on my Pinterest also. Black beans, what else do I use black beans for? This week I'm gonna put black beans in sweet potatoes. I'm gonna roast some sweet potatoes real good, and I'm gonna make a quinoa black bean mixture, like a Mexican style filling for the sweet potatoes. It's gonna be really delicious and really filling, let me tell you. I also got some coconut milk. I got 2 kinds, the regular and the light. The only difference is the fat content. So the regular has 11 grams per serving. This one has 3.5 grams per serving. Just depends on what you're making. I'm making my Thai curry, and I personally like using the fattier one because it's creamier and delicious. Sometimes I'll do half and half. Usually it's whatever I have on hand, but I'll do that. I also use coconut milk, usually the light one, for chia pudding. That's about it. I don't usually use canned coconut milk for cereal or anything. I also got some tomato paste. This is like a pantry staple, and I'm out of it, and this week I'm making my meatloaf. It's just a bunch of vegetables. But I'm making meatloaf, and we need tomato paste for that. So stocked up a little bit on those. The last thing in this bag is just a head of lettuce, good old romaine. We're doing, I'll show you in a second, Tofurkey, the brand. They make deli slices, and it's so easy for Matt to make a sandwich with those. Obviously they're not the most whole food, they are processed, but we do what we can. And so we got some sandwich lettuce for those sandwiches. First one done. Bring your bags. I'm gonna do this one, it's a heavy want. Alright, so I got another loaf of bread, only because we are doing the tofu sandwiches for lunch, and then we're doing a tomato soup with grilled cheese. So that's just a lot of sandwiches, plus I like to eat avocado toast sometimes in the morning, and so we tend to go through a significant amount of bread. And I would really love to find a better bread that is whole grain, whole wheat. When you buy a bread, the first ingredient should be whole grain, whole wheat. And I'll show you on this one. I don't know if you can see it. It's really small here, but the first ingredient is enriched flour. So basically the grains went through a processing system and they stripped the grain of all of its goodness, and then they had to enrich it or add all that stuff back in artificially. So it is best to get whole grain, whole wheat, but do what you can. Do what you can, guys. I got another soy milk. Matt goes through so many of these because he makes these banana smoothies, and he'll use like a cup at a time. I am on a mission to make my own soy milk at some point, but it is what it is. It doesn't have any added sugar, and per serving it's 7 grams of protein. So I know there's a lot of confusion out there about soy and whether it's good for you or not, and I'm just gonna blatantly say it is your own personal decision, ultimately what you decide to include in your diet. I'm not gonna try swaying you one way or another. But they have done studies, and 1 to 2 servings of soy, I'm not sure about soy milk, but 1 to 2 servings of soy a day, perfectly fine. I used to drink just almond milk, but I did realize that I was drinking quite a bit of almond milk, and just to make sure I'm good on my protein, I don't ever worry about protein, but just to like be comfortable, I did switch to soy milk because it does have 7 grams per serving, whereas almond milk has like 1, so it just has more protein. Very easy. I guess the rest of my coconut milks ended up in this bag along with my black beans. Okay, I'm just gonna take those out. My camera's about to die. No! Alright. Next, I got shredded carrots. I hate buying things in these plastic containers, but I don't have a good shredder for carrots, and it hurts my hand to do it. Got some bananas for Matt's smoothies. I got a little thing of cilantro. I love cilantro. It's for the curry and for our stuffed potatoes. Got a huge baggie of avocados. They were on sale. So avocados for toast primarily. And then I got a few heads of broccoli. This is for the curry as well. And I got 2 cucumbers. I love putting cucumbers in my green smoothies, also in my water. I find that when I'm not drinking enough water, once I put cucumbers in there, it's like, boom, I just want to drink all the water. Okay, I think this is my last bag. Hopefully my camera doesn't die. I got a thing of celery, again for my green smoothies, also for hummus snacks. I have hummus already. I got a bunch of white nectarines. They're on sale. So that would be a really delicious snack once they soften a bit more. I got some of these cherry tomatoes for the curry again. I'll also saute these with spinach and garlic, and once I am done sauteing them, I'll put them on toast. It's delicious. I got pico de gallo. I could easily make this myself, but I feel like the past few times I've done it, it's been a fail. I haven't figured it out yet. But I got pico for these stuffed potatoes. I got 1 tomato because I'm making soup and I'm down on potato. I just said potato, tomato. What's wrong? I got another container of peanut butter. Literally just peanuts, and that's what you want in your peanut butter. A lot of companies will put added oils and sugars, especially those flavored nut butters. They'll have a bunch more in there. Got at mushrooms. Guys, I hate mushrooms. Like the thought of them is like, ugh, don't like it. But when they're mixed up and chopped up really small, I don't mind them as much. So if you don't like something, cut it up smaller or just cook it differently, because you'll be surprised that you may actually like it. But the mushrooms are for my veggie meatloaf and also the Thai curry. That's really all I put them in because I can stand the taste of them in there, but Matt likes to saute them and put them on toast or in tofu, scrambles, stuff like that. Matt also loves sriracha. We're out of it, so I gotta get more. These are the tofurkey deli slices I mentioned earlier. So basically it's Vital Wheat gluten and a bunch of flavorings and thickeners and who knows what else. So it is a more processed item, but it is easy, and sometimes you just gotta find a balance. And everyone is okay with different things in their diet, so I'm okay with that every so often. I also have this little jar of red curry paste, obviously for the curry, self-explanatory. And then last, I got one more sweet potato. I already have quite a few sweet potatoes, but I just got one more for those stuffed sweet potato meals I'm gonna make. So that is it. I got food everywhere now. Put everything away, but I am back because I want to talk about grocery shopping. And I have seen it all. I know all of the excuses as to why you can't eat more healthfully or health conscious. And granted, there are circumstances where food accessibility is a huge problem, but for the majority of people, you do have access, and we're very fortunate to have access to healthy food all year round. And it just comes down to strategy when you are purchasing food and deciding what you choose to spend your dollars on. Because as a whole food plant-based vegan over here, you know, it's really easy to criticize me and say that, oh, that way of eating is more expensive, I don't have money to buy produce. And if you've ever had experience buying produce, you know it's really not that expensive, and produce goes on sale all the time. Things become in season and that makes them cheaper. Or if nothing you like is in season, then chances are the freezer section is a jackpot for that. As I mentioned earlier, just check the ingredients and make sure that you're just buying the vegetable you want and no other additives and sugars. Also, when it comes to any diet, any approach, we all choose to splurge on certain things that are more costly. So let's say I am a carnivore, I may splurge on a filet steak, or maybe I'll splurge on some ice cream, or maybe I'll splurge on some cookies. The treats, no matter what diet approach you choose, there are things you can splurge on financially. And it just comes down to making those decisions, being smart about it, and not letting those things become your only options and make you feel trapped in those options. Because you're not trapped. You don't have to buy the most expensive kombucha. You don't have to buy all these treats. And even the most whole food plant-based is probably the cheapest and the most nutrient dense. So that brings me to another point of bulk shopping. I'm very lucky where Sprouts is my local grocer, and they have a beautiful, fabulous bulk section. It's probably the largest I've ever seen. They even have bulk spices. I know not all grocery stores are that large, but when you do have an opportunity to buy in bulk, that is cheapest. And that is how I buy my grains, like rice or lentils, quinoa. I even buy my chocolate chips that way, and nuts, seeds, oats, you name it. If I can find it in the bulk section, I'm going to buy it that way. Not only do I save money, but I bring my own bags with me, and I don't have to waste any packaging because I store them in glass containers in my pantry. So eco-friendly and cost-effective. And I'm not here to say that like we can all magically just financially be better grocery shopping overnight. Like, it just takes practice and being flexible. So if I go in with a list and I have some specific fruits on my list that I want, but they're really expensive in the store, it's being flexible and seeing like, oh, maybe instead of buying the $3.99 container of strawberries, I'll just buy a few 79-cent mangoes instead. So just being aware of like what the store is offering and how you can be flexible in your meal plan, and you know, that's how you start saving money. When I was in college, I was buying a lot of, you know, vegan treats, so like vegan mac and cheese. I was doing a lot of vegan ice cream and cereals and granola bars, you know, things that were quick, convenient, and frankly a little bit more expensive than if I had made them myself. But I was easily raking up like over $100 grocery shopping every week and a half-ish just for myself. And that blows my mind when I go back and think about it, because now I'm spending that much or less sometimes for both me and Matt. And it just comes down to practice and figuring out what you want to spend your money on. So some people like going to Starbucks and buying a $4 latte 3 times a week. That adds up to $12, $15. Personal choices. But I get so sad when people don't want to make any effort at all because they think it's more expensive to eat healthy when it's really not, or it is equally as expensive as what you're already doing. So I just wanted to point that out there. Frozen food is not bad. Like, if anything, they pick the vegetables or produce when they're the most ripe, they freeze them right away, and then they're shipped. Whereas sometimes the fresh produce you see sitting out is picked before it's ripe. They ship it across the country, and then they will blast them with a gas called ethylene gas. This gas is naturally produced by climacteric fruits, for like the technical term, but that's like avocados and bananas. You know, they ripen pretty quickly because they produce that gas. So what they do is they take that gas, they'll blast it on produce and make it ripen when it reaches its destination. So there's really like no reason not to do frozen, in my opinion. Same with canned. Like, you just have to check the ingredients, obviously, and if you're smart about it, you'll just, on the label, it'll have the bean or the vegetable or a tomato and salt maybe, or maybe if you're looking for no salt, it won't have salt, but you get the gist. Like, few ingredients, the better, and canned, frozen, whatever is perfectly fine. And I just encourage you guys to be more plant focused. It is very cost effective, I promise you. I just hope that helps you feel more comfortable. And sometimes it does take just looking around the store at different prices. And if you're not very absorbent to that originally, like I don't think I was, to be honest. But once you start, then you start learning the tricks of the trade. Maybe you find things at other stores that are cheaper than where you're shopping. I know I get my maple syrup from our Super Target because it's like $4 cheaper than at Sprouts. So I do go next door to Target for that. But, you know, just figure out what works for you, what's around you, and I promise you eating healthy is not more expensive. And yeah, that's my spiel. I have nothing else to say really. I put all my groceries away. I hope you guys enjoyed my little haul. I did want to say that the haul isn't as large as it usually is because we do have a lot of food still. Like we still have rice and lentils and quinoa. We have a good amount of potatoes and onions, squash. Like, we still got quite a bit of things left that I didn't have to buy this week. So just keep in mind, I do buy stuff like that. I just didn't this time. So yeah, that's all I have to say. I hope you like this, and I don't know how to close this out without being awkward, but I'll see you in my next video.